feel like I'm dressed up for Iceland again. It is quite cold. So this is a story about how I got back my GoPro from Iceland. But I guess I should start with how I even lost my GoPro. So it all started with the second morning in Iceland. I was trying to wake up at 6 so I could head over to this plane wreck on this black sand beach. I'm trying to get there before everyone else does, so I'm trying to go before sunrise. Sunrise is about 9 a.m. Up on the road, dark road ahead, darkness, no cars. So I drove those 2.5 hours right before you get to the parking area where you start walking to the plane wreck. There's this waterfalls. So I thought, let me just make a quick 15-minute stop over to the waterfalls, get some pictures. It was sunrise, it was awesome. Little did I know I was gonna spend 2 hours there. Wow. And there's not that many people, so it's perfect for getting a shot. So after I parked, I got my camera gear, I was heading out to the waterfalls, and I was vlogging on my little GoPro. It is windy and cold. I'm about to go close to Skogafoss waterfalls. I can feel some mist from over here. So, am I stupid? Probably. As I was getting really close to the waterfalls, I put my GoPro in my jacket pocket. I figured, let me go get gloves because I was already being sprayed by the waterfalls. It was really cold. I ran back to the car. That was the biggest mistake, because it fell out my pocket. When I got my gloves, I thought maybe I put my GoPro down in the car, so I didn't think too much about it when I went back to the waterfalls for about 15 minutes. It wasn't until I went back to the car I realized I don't have my GoPro. I went through everything in my car, then I started tracing back my steps. I then started asking people. However, in all that time that elapsed, it turned into about 50, 60 people. After an hour, it turned into over 120 people maybe. Trying to find whoever found it was really slim. I went by a nearby restaurant, just went everywhere I could, asked tour groups if they could ask the people on their buses and vans. Still no luck. So after 2 hours, I gave up. By then it really ruined my morning because it was 11:30 a.m. I was not in a good mood. I didn't eat any breakfast. Speaking of not eating, I haven't eaten today, and so I'm gonna get my favorite. Soup dumplings. Yes, fried rice. Got my soup dumplings, the best. And for dessert, chocolate. Oh, those are the best. Back to the story. That morning I already felt like I wasted it because I spent 2 hours at that waterfall when I only intended on 15 minutes. And lost my GoPro, I was hungry, I didn't eat yet, and I was tired because I only slept about 3-4 hours the night before. because it was so crowded at the plane wreck, I spent 3 hours at that site trying to get a good picture with nobody in it. Then took another hour to walk back to the car. Started driving at 5:30. It started to snow. In Iceland, there's no shoulder to pull over on. If you try to go off of it, it's just a lot of rocks and not drivable. So I couldn't pull over even though I was tired. It wasn't until 45 minutes later there was a gas station. If you know me, I don't drink caffeine. I got some food. I drove another 20-30 minutes and ate a little bit more, and I was just too exhausted, so I passed out for over an hour next to a gas station. Now, if there wasn't a better time to believe in fate, I would say it's now. If I didn't get that 10 hours of sleep in the last 4 days, lose my GoPro at the waterfalls, spend all my time at that plane wreck, I don't think I would have seen the Northern Lights. When I was driving that last 35 minutes, I saw this like little glow in the distance. I pulled over, I turned off the car, it took about a minute for my eyes to adjust. That was the Northern Lights, and spent about an hour there watching it and taking my pictures. I didn't even care if I lost my GoPro because I was just so happy that I finally got to see it. But how did I get it back? So after I posted on Craigslist under the lost and found section, no one emailed me. I gave up. Somebody messaged me on Instagram saying they found my GoPro, and she said that was asking around at the waterfalls too. They went on Facebook under a lost GoPro group. It wasn't until they went on Instagram and searched the hashtag lost GoPro. When they looked at the footage, they recognized me because I was actually in their photo, recognized my coat. I never used hashtags until this Iceland trip because I always thought hashtags were a bit obnoxious. And so I was just so grateful and so happy that somebody out there actually cared enough to send it back. So I was trying my best to send her a reward or something. She kept refusing, but eventually I convinced her and she finally told me some of the accessories that she needed. So it's on its way from B&H, and got my GoPro back, and I got a crazy story out of it too. I think that just made it even better. I'm just glad it all happened.